He's going to get a big one. I mean, I don't know what he's going to get paid, but it's going to be more money than he's ever made before.
Right. I believe him.
Yeah.
That's why all those MMA guys coming over to boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to, they see Conor McGregor, they like, oh.
Yeah.
Made all that money?
Yeah.
Let me try.
Yeah.
The fans of boxing that have deluded themselves because, I don't know, because they don't watch enough MMA, but they've deluded themselves into thinking that boxing's this harder sport, it's the more dangerous sport. By the way, boxing being the more dangerous sport, do you want to know why that is? Do you want to know why that's repeated all the time in boxing fans? It's number one, because of the rule set they operate under. When boxers get hit in the face and drop to the floor, the referee stops the guy from attacking them until he can rise back to his feet and absorb more punishment. How does that make the sport more of a dangerous sport to be a part of? It's dangerous because of the rule set that allows people to keep punching you instead of just finish the job like it would happen in a real-life situation.
Well, he's a wrestler. Crawford is a wrestler. So Crawford is probably the only one that could maybe do good because he could fucking box. He could fight. But then he could also wrestle and he go to the floor. So I think Crawford will do all right.
So him and Conor,
I still don't recommend him.
Why not?
Nah,
40 years old, 39?
Yeah, there's no need for doing that. There's no need for doing that.
During an explosive recent appearance on the Ariel Helwani show, Conor McGregor dropped an absolute bombshell that shook the combat sports landscape. According to the former UFC double champion, a massive two-fight deal was structured to see the two superstars collide across both disciplines. The first fight would take place inside the UFC octagon under standard mixed martial arts rules, followed by a massive high-stakes rematch inside the traditional boxing ring.
Feeling that, being where he was, being as proud of it, say what you want about Justin Gaethje, he is a proud American, he has always stood by that. Being there, I think, raised his game, and I think that if they're in Vegas, T-Mobile, whatever, I don't know if he rises to the occasion like that. Is that a crazy thought? I don't think so.
I don't think it's crazy, but who knows how it impacts one or the other, right? Maybe the moment is different for everybody, so I think
it adds to the lore.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean?
100%. The fact that, again, as you kind of pointed out yesterday and continued to like circle back around to, there was not supposed to be an American winning this final fight of this event. This event was supposed to be capped with a guy from Spain knocking out an American. And Justin Gaethje completely upset the apple cart. He completely changed the course of history as it relates to the UFC. And so, yeah, there is a lot of storytelling. There's a lot of lore that comes from this now in hindsight by the fact that Justin Gaethje was able to get it done. Absolutely.
It's unbelievable. I mean,
it's also the song, right? The song, Ain't No Grave Gonna Hold My Body Down. This is a guy that's saying, I'm going to retire after this fight. This is the end of my career. A grave being the representation of his
This massive revelation completely changes how observers view cross-sport mega fights. It signals that Saudi Arabia is fully prepared to fund the ultimate experimentation between mixed martial arts and boxing, pushing the boundaries of sports entertainment to heights never seen before.
The story of the fight is told. It has to start with this, and it ends with him winning and shocking the world. And I was talking to someone who was very close to the event. I won't mention their name, just out of respect. And they brought up something that I wasn't thinking about. And I'd love to get you guys to weigh in on it as well. If that fight is happening in any arena in the world, T-Mobile, Madison Square Garden, pick one, I think there's a strong case to be made it doesn't play out like that. I do believe that Gaethje in that moment was so empowered by the setting that it allowed him to rise to the occasion. And if you don't believe that that's a real thing, I point to the NBA Finals. The Knicks aren't coming back down 29 if they're not at MSG. Things happen, obviously, in different places, but I think, and we'll never know the true answer, I think that there is a strong case to be made that Gaethje...
Confronted with the life-changing offer, Crawford's response was instant, flatly turning down the generational wealth to avoid the brutal reality of an MMA arsenal. McGregor recounted the raw conversation with brutal honesty, highlighting exactly why the pound-for-pound boxing king wanted absolutely no part of a cage fight against a seasoned striker.
I heard that Turkey offered you a 2-fight deal to fight Conor McGregor, one in the ring and one in the octagon. Is that true? Is that true, bud? Is that true, bud?
Man, listen, man. Hey,
you gonna fight Conor McGregor, dude?
I told Conor
in the ring, in the octagon, but
I told Conor to himself.
You'll beat his ass.
I said, hell no.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like me and Conor, they called me. You know what I mean? They called me and they offered me to fight, and I talked. Me and Conor got on the phone and we started politicking. trying to figure something out. And I just told him, man, I'm not getting in no fucking octagon with you so you can be kicking me and elbowing me and shit. And so he get to laughing and shit. He like, man, I respect that.
Yeah.
He was like, man, because you respect my sport just like I respect your sport. And you understand that if you get in the octagon with me, you're gonna be at a disadvantage.
Yes.
Just like if I get in the boxing ring with you, I'm gonna be at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
He was like, but we'll make a shit ton of money.
Shit ton of money.
I said, yeah, sometimes it ain't about the money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can make money. Shit, but you ain't about to be kicking me, dude.
Yeah.
Them kicks and elbows, man, that shit ain't no.
While boxing purists often claim absolute superiority in combat, Crawford's immediate refusal exposes the deep barrier boxers face when stripped of their protective, hands-only rule set. It proves that even the most fearless ring generals respect the dynamic damage of a prime, heavy-handed MMA southpaw.
See you. How would Crawford do as an MMA fighter?
Well, he's a wrestler. Crawford is a wrestler. So Crawford is probably the only one that could maybe do good because he could fucking box. He could fight. But then he could also wrestle and he go to the floor. So I think Crawford would do all right.
So him and Connor?
I still don't recommend him.
Why not?
Nah,
40 years old, 39?
Yeah, there's no need for doing that. There's no need for doing that. But he would probably do all right.
Why don't we see boxers do MMA then?
Because MMA's on the floor and you have to know those tricks, you have to know all that.
James Toney did it once, got stopped in 30 seconds, I think.
That's why look at the fighters doing BKB. They're getting beat. Why? Because it's different. There's different rules. It's just different. It's not easy. But that was a badass card, man. I don't care whatever people say. When it comes to sports, I never get into politics and that bullshit. It's stupid. Bam. On media day, I think, or whatever, over there in Arizona, I had no idea. Pita had no idea. But Bam comes up with a Mexican jersey. Fuck, that's badass.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? Yeah, that's cool.
That's fucking cool. Bam. But then you hear some people like, oh, but he's fake. He said he's not even Mexican. Well, he's from the United States too, and he's from Texas, and he's proud of being there. But he's also representing his blood.
Analyzed on the Joe Rogan Experience, Rogan and Crawford previously broke down exactly why defensive boxing purists get labeled as boring by casual fans, while loud operators like McGregor generate millions. During their sit-down, Crawford expressed his frustration with how American fight fans treat elite warriors compared to international audiences, noting that the culture often rewards drama over masterful technique. Terrence Crawford said, "In boxing, it's always the black fighters that gotta step out and play this circus role to sell. If you don't talk, they say you're boring. Casuals want to see a lot of talking. They want to get emotionally wrapped up in your conflict."
Look how the media and how people is bashing Errol Spence like he's not great.
Crazy.
You know what I mean? Just because he lost to a all-time great fighter and myself. Right. That's all the fighters that I done fought. Once I fight them and, I dismantle them, they say, oh, well, those guys is weak. Those guys not great fighters, though. Those guys is tomato cans. They washed up. They bums. I'm like, dang, how can you disrespect this man? And he didn't work his ass off to get to the level that he is.
Undefeated.
To even be able to
champion.
challenge me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Can I just be that good? Why they gotta be bums? Why they gotta be tomato cans?
Isn't that just a lot of noise, though? There's a lot of people that their opinions are stupid.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people their opinions suck.
But if you looked at my whole career, that's what was always said. Terrence Crawford haven't fought anybody. Terrence Crawford, only fought washed fighters. Terrence Crawford this, Terrence Crawford that. But now, after the Spence, that's
they have
what
to
I
shut
said.
the fuck up.
That's what I said.
But don't listen to those people. Like, listen to Andre Ward.
No, they motivate me.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, they do.
They motivate me.
Okay. You're like,
Joe Rogan fiercely agreed with the assessment, pointing out that the modern combat sports economy forces elite competitors to choose between being a pure athlete or an entertainer. McGregor mastered the entertainer role early, creating a blueprint that forces boxers into playing a heel, just to get the credit and financial rewards their skills already deserve. despite knowing how to handle his weight on the mats. And coming from a deeply passionate wrestling family, Crawford understands that wrestling is entirely different when shin bones are flying at your skull. His high fight IQ told him that a wrestling background alone wouldn't save him from the devastating leg kicks and elbows that McGregor excels at delivering.
It's the fans of boxing that have deluded themselves because, I don't know, because they don't watch enough MMA, but they've deluded themselves into thinking that boxing's this harder sport, it's the more dangerous sport. By the way, boxing being the more dangerous sport, do you want to know why that is? Do you want to know why that's repeated all the time in boxing fans? It's number one, because of the rule set they operate under. When boxers get hit in the face and drop to the floor, the referee stops the guy from attacking them until he can rise back to his feet and absorb more punishment. How does that make the sport more of a dangerous sport to be a part of? It's dangerous because of the rule set that allows people to keep punching you instead of just finish the job like it would happen in a real life situation. It's not more dangerous because boxers have this super weapon or anything. It's because the sport allows them to get punched with 10-ounce gloves and to get picked up off the floor if they get dropped to continue fighting. Not to mention the fact that every time there's a clinch or every time someone gets close enough to have any sort of grappling exchange at all, there's a referee that comes in and quietly separates you. That's not happening in MMA. I think, again, boxing fans and boxers have deluded themselves into really believing that the danger that boxing presents is because boxing's a harder sport and because it's more violent. No, it's because of your rule set that allows for bigger gloves. It allows for a referee to stop a guy from attacking you once you hit the floor and come and pick you up and then allow you to continue to fight after that.
Ignited by a recent Twitter feud, McGregor blasted Crawford for mocking UFC featherweight champion Ilia Topuria after Topuria's shocking defeat. The digital exchange turned personal incredibly fast, with the Irish superstar using Crawford's boxing bubble as leverage to attack his credibility as a true fighter. Terrence Crawford replied with, "Shut ya drunka up. I'm a real fighter. You're just a social media clown these days."
Contracted to the Ultimate Fighting Championship. We did an amazing event in the White House. And now we have the Mac back. I'm happy to be back. Let's go to work.
What's up with you and Terrence Crawford?
I thought he shouldn't have kicked the man when he was down, especially when you're ringside. That's what happened to me and this machine gun fucking Kelly guy that time. Not to say they're even the same, but just as a comparison. I'm at the VMAs, I walks out with a car, I got the whiskey glass, I got the cane, the gold cane. I only had the fresh breaking the leg goes out. Megan, how you darling? You're always at the fights. I know you before I know that tick. And then he says, we don't fuck with you. She says, you don't fuck with me? You had to been ringside at the fight 2 fucking days ago. And he's lucky he didn't get his face broke badly there. You don't... If you're ringside and you're afforded that opportunity, I found it a bit distasteful. I like Terrence. I think he's a great boxer. I'm on the call. Turkey has me in his ring. I'm in this bleeding suite with Turkey and a big gang of these people, right? Lovely fellas. Unusual to their own ground.
McGregor fired back with immense venom, publicly telling Crawford that his refusal to accept the $200 million deal proves he lacks the courage to step outside his comfort zone. The bitter back and forth has added a volatile new chapter to their rivalry, as McGregor prepares for his highly anticipated UFC comeback against Max Holloway.
It seemed like you had the pick of the litter. Why Max?
Again, they picked that.
Oh,
they picked that.
All right.
I had the date. They picked it. It just became Max. They didn't like the way the shape of the other belt went. There was a lot of...
The BMF?
Yeah, well, you know...
Was Oliveira discussed at any point?
No.
Diaz?
No. No, it just felt... The only one that was there was Holloway.
Really?
It just landed on Holloway.
What was the story with Praches?
Praches, is that how you pronounce that?
Yeah, it's the Brazilian.
Listen, they said to me about him, I said, yeah, no problem. Send the contract. So I'm saying, yeah, for about 2 weeks. Where's the fucking contract? No contract came. Do you know what it was? They wanted me back down at 155 pounds.
Okay.
So I think they were trying to throw names at me to say, well, I said, oh, yes, no problem. So your man went 5 rounds with Gary. I seen the fight. Little whippy southpaw. So, yeah, no problem. I'm a 170 pounder at the minute. Let's see how it goes. If offers come on the table, day by day, let's see how it goes.
What did you think of Max's...
But this will be my first time.
Vowed to protect his pristine, undefeated record, Crawford chose to walk away from the sport with his brain health and historic legacy fully intact. Critics argue that passing up a $200 million bag is financial madness, but in modern boxing trends, an unblemished record is a fighter's highest currency.
Why would it always have to be, let's do a boxing, let's do boxing, you and Terrence, let's do boxing, let's do boxing? Because boxers will only compete in their sport because they think that's the superior sport. They think that's where the money is. Because they know they don't want to come to MMA and lose. They know they'll lose and they won't risk it. MMA fighters will risk it because there's a shit ton of money involved, and more importantly, because MMA fighters or kickboxers or anybody that's not of the boxing discipline, they want to test themselves in that sport. They've done this sport, they want to test that in others. I think that's the biggest difference in mindset between boxers and MMA. Boxers can think they're the toughest, the hardest, but the reality is they won't put that to the test in any other sport. And so when they act like it, to me, it's all phony bullshit. And when it gets called out, it's always, well, we don't have to do that because we have the money. Y'all need to come to us. Seems like that backfired massively this time. Let's keep going.
Ultimately, Crawford proved that money isn't everything by turning down the biggest crossover offer in history, but ensured that his name remained synonymous with pure boxing mastery rather than a multi-million-dollar spectacle that could have seen him inside the octagon.
Now, you definitely done?
It's over with.
It's definitely over?
Yeah. I don't got nothing. So I told a couple of my close friends, I said, okay, since 2014, I've been fighting for something, a title. I won my first title in 2014, March of 2014. Ever since then, I've been fighting for titles, undisputed, titles, undisputed, titles, undisputed. Like just everything that I've been fighting for. Now I just come back and it's just like, all right, what's the motivation? Just money? You know, like, all right, so what is on top of that? You know, because my thing was the money gonna come. No, I was taking pay cuts after pay cuts after pay cuts because I knew what I wanted my legacy to be when I finished boxing.
Observers are now deeply divided on this massive combat sports standoff. Was Terrence Crawford incredibly smart to protect his legacy and health, or did he show a total lack of courage by turning down a historic $200 million crossover payday against Conor McGregor? So that's all for today. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned, and we will catch you in the next video.